What's happening, everybody? This is Gentleman Driver coming at you live for another cigar review. Doing something a little bit different today. Nice, it was a good Sunday. Spent some good time with the family. Had to watch some rough Falcons football. And so with that, I need something to get the horrible taste of Kirk Cousins gameplay out my mouth. So what I have today is my wife actually picked this out for me. This is an Olivia Serie G natural Tubo. This has it's a 6x50 with a Cameroonian wrapper. So I thought that was pretty cool. African wrapper, Nicaraguan filler. Beautiful cigar, very, very nice. Well constructed. I'm not sure how much you guys can see that in the light. It's nighttime here, just wrapping up my evening with a beautiful cigar. And actually I did something different the other day. I was just having a cigar, didn't record it. It was I had a couple of those Padron 3000s and I lit it up. I actually thought it was pretty interesting to actually leave the cap on and go ahead and toast it. Before I do that, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself tonight, doing something a little bit different, stepping away from the beer. And I have some de Fussigny cognac that I'll be having. With my cigar. And these are just the little samplers. I didn't want to commit to a full bottle, and I hear that this stuff is pretty good. So what better way to find out? A couple of samplers, some pretty nice cognac. And if I like it, I'll maybe step up to the big bottle. It smells amazing. That smells good. Just after I poured it, the night air hit it, moved it up right out the glass and in my nose. So like I said, I'm gonna be doing, I guess everybody has their little tricks to the trade, but tonight it's definitely going to be me doing something that I recently tried and actually enjoyed. Let's see if it's something I will continue to stick with. But I really did feel that it adjusted the flavor of the cigar in a very positive way by toasting it and then cutting it. That's right there. Getting a little fancy with it, I guess. But I like I said, I really enjoyed the draw of that. What I would say is it gives maybe a more pure flavor of the tobacco as I get the initial draw. And the draw is very good, by the way. no tight. I'm not a fan of having to really pull on it. I like to just have a nice draw and be able to have a nice billowy smoke. It's nice. This is a nice one. Something that I am enjoying. It's not a spongy stick. Very pleasant to the eye. Has a good hand. It feels good in the hand. Has good to feel in the hand. I normally don't go after the naturals. I'm more of a Maduro. I like that kind of that rich sweetness that comes from those darker cigars. But this very much so quite lovely. And the night air is pulling at my heartstrings for a taste of this cognac. This is the Fussigny Selection. It's a very lovely, bright, and I don't want to say that it doesn't taste of alcohol, but it doesn't have an overbearing alcohol taste to it. I can with liquors, I usually do get a taste of like certain tasting notes, and for this, it's a lot of dark fruit, dark ripe fruit. Slightly floral note. It's very lovely. That's definitely a bottle. And that is not a very expensive bottle. It's actually a relatively small distillery, which made it surprising for them to even have the small sampler bottles like that. Oh, and that's just... oh, that is it. That is what you have with a cigar, a nice cognac. I do, like I said, I do enjoy beers, and I can have beers that pair well with cigars. But at the end of the day, as I'm getting back into the swing of things, it's not just about, you know, being bourgeoisie or trying to be fancy with things. Cognacs, brandies, a nice tawny port with some age on it. These really do pair well with the cigars. And it just creates a nice, clean, palatable feeling. can feel the cognac warm in the chest. And it's a beautiful night. Very beautiful night. But how about those Falcons, though? I mean, first game of the season for them, playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh came out, they did their thing. Fields played hard. He just couldn't complete. I definitely think Russell Wilson, as much as I'm not a fan of him, he definitely still has a job once that calf heals up, because he just wasn't able to complete some. But I mean, give it off to the defense. The defense was doing their thing. Maybe, Fields, I mean, as much as I hate to say it, Russell Wilson does just have some type of air to him where he can just throw that ball up and somebody's gonna get it. And it's despicable, but it's real. And that boy Kyle Pitts, man, that's not a tight end, that's a wide receiver. I mean, TJ Watt, that's the boy's name. He just flinging him all over the place. I mean, didn't stand a chance. I mean, even there was trying to get a fumble recovery, and he was just all over those boys. And man, yeah, that's a good football player, that TJ Watt. But Kirk Cousins, they need to put in Michael Penix Jr. Need to go ahead and let Mike see what he can do. And if he messes up for 2 or 3 games, go ahead, let Kirk Cousins ride it. I believe it's Kirk Cousins, ride it out for the rest of the season. But you could definitely see his age. He couldn't, he never got comfortable. He just never seemed to get comfortable back there. And I might also say our O-line. I think a few years ago we had a very agile, quick-moving O-line that really could move around with the quarterback and everything. It's not working for us anymore. We need to put some beef back there. Some meat and potatoes need to be on those O-linemen, for sure. This is a lovely stick. I'm enjoying it. I mean, it's just the beginning and barely into the first third. And, but I'm enjoying it. Very medium cigar. And it's got a good flow to it. Burning well, good construction. As you can see, rolling through there. As you can see, pretty good construction. Right here, where the fingertips, barely hot, even though it's burning. I'm puffing away on it. I can't necessarily say I taste the wrapper, because normally don't have too many of the naturals. But it's a very good, it's a good flavor profile to it so far. And like I said, with that cognac cleaning up the back end, it's that cognac is doing what the Atlanta defense was doing for it, just cleaning up the foolishness. next Sunday we got Formula One coming back at Baku. Street circuit, very technical street circuit. Red Bull's on the decline, or what would appear to be the decline. Be good to see how they pull that out. Hopefully the papaya rules thing for Lando gets thrown out the window and they start acknowledging the fact that, you know, he was with them, he's been their guy, you know, he deserves to have team rules put in place so that he gets a fair shot at the championship. Hopefully Ferrari's pace doesn't drop off. I'd like to see them still hanging in there, like I said, because as a big Lewis Hamilton fan, I want to make sure that Ferrari is good to go for the 2025 season. And when you see Leclerc's car being strong, Carlos Sainz obviously not as strong, you can tell. They just don't give that second driver that they know is leaving the following year. He's not getting the same stuff. He's not getting the same. He's not getting, you know, they're not giving the same secrets. They're not doing the same stuff. They don't have to come out and say it. You just know it, you know. And so, hopefully you get a good race. Not too many crashes. I think they did do K-Mag pretty bad with that. Kevin Magnussen, he's done a lot worse stuff for me, and for him to be out, that was a little weird. George Russell, it'd be good to see him. I like George because he's a tall driver. As a 6'2" guy myself, it's always nice when you see a tall driver out in there amongst the 5'8" and the 5'6", and you can notice my guy, but he's like probably 5'4", 5'3". Throw him in any car if you want to. There's not many tall drivers out there. Yeah, I'm excited for 2025 once they announce that Lewis was leaving, and it's like, go ahead and put your pause on your Mercedes purchases, and it's time to get with the bandwagon of the Ferrari train. The fans have a special name, but it starts with a T. I just have a hard time saying it. But I'll be joining their ranks next year. And yes, this is splendid. This is splendid. So I'll get a little bit deeper into this, have a few more sips, let you know about halfway how it is. So, just a really good stick, well past the halfway point. Really enjoying my drink. This is definitely bottle worthy, and I wouldn't say I'd buy a box of these, but definitely grabbing about 5 or 6 of these and then stashing them away for a rainy day would always be nice. Having one of these around, just something to burn, especially with you getting around, hanging out. This is something you can get out, break out, and pass around, and everybody should actually get a pretty good kick out of this. I wouldn't say there was any dominant flavor to it, but it's definitely not a placid single flavor driven cigar either. There's just slight notes of like different things in there, and it's just a good cigar. The smoke is nice and clean and crisp, I would say. It's not like a creamy smoke. it's a clean smoke. Definitely. And I usually figure I'm outside, there's a light breeze, so I'm never gonna get like a perfectly even roll like somebody sitting inside, sitting in the cigar lounge, which I do need to branch out and check out some lounges in the local area, and maybe possibly get some film done in there. Check out what they have to offer. I'll tell you what, my number one favorite thing about having a cigar at home is you have a cigar, you have a few drinks, you start feeling good, you go lay down, pass out. No driving, no needing to go out and buy something to eat. You've already made your meal, or you can go in there and make a meal and have a little something. But every once in a while, you need to get out, be sociable, you know, see what other people are talking about. Check out. Sometimes I like to see. Sometimes I'll go to the cigar store and I'll just hang back and see what people are buying. And if I see somebody, you know, grab quite a few of something, say, you know, maybe I might want to try that. Maybe that might be pretty good. Usually it fits in the realm of something I like. Like I said, my wife picked this one out. She doesn't know cigars to a hill of beans, but it was a pretty good pick. You know, I've actually been curious about trying the Cameroonian wrapper cigars. There's been a couple I've seen, but I just never pulled the plug on them because I'm kind of a little bit of a creature of habit. And for content purposes, it's nice to try things new, like especially like the Perdomo champagne. That's not something I normally would have on a day-to-day basis. That wouldn't be my everyday cigar. Like the Padron 3000, that's Maduro. That's an everyday for me. Something like this, I don't know how much this was, but I'm sure it wasn't over $12, and so this is something that definitely would be in that more everyday range, at least as a flavor profile and strength and intensity goes. It's got a lot more bang than those really light shade Connecticut wrapped cigars, but in the natural, I really am enjoying this. There goes that ash. It doesn't hang on to that ash too well. Once it gets about, you know, an inch long, it just drops right on off, which is all right. And I won't smoke it down to the nub if it's not good. But I would say, yeah, I don't find the need to get down to the nub just because you paid some good money for it. If it's bad, it's bad. Put it out. But this one, and really, if anything, if you didn't smoke this down to the nub, if you wanted to walk away from it right at the wrapper length, something you could fire up with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea in the morning, have a good start to the morning, ride on out. And I would say it developed from a mild cigar to a medium-bodied cigar. I think that's more along the lines of what this was. It was very pleasant in the beginning, not too much fuss, not too much hustle going on. And once you got past the first third, it was like a strong, mild cigar. And now we're into a full blown. This is a medium, very dare I say meaty type flavor profile. Very enjoyable. I'm really happy my wife picked this out for me. It's amazing how after 20 years people just know you. You know, even if they don't know something about what you're doing, they know that's what you might like. That sensibility of things, the pleasantness of life is very interesting. And she's not a fan of cigars or anything like that, but she'll go to the lounge and sit with me and have a drink and enjoy each other's company. Last lounge we went to was the Fox Cigar Bar down in Scottsdale, Arizona. That was a really good time. It was a really nice place. Very nice place. I sadly went for my gold standard of the Camacho Triple Maduro. Had a few Guinnesses, and definitely was feeling really good after that. 'Cause that's my favorite cigar of all time. When it comes to flavor, taste, price, smoke, all that, it's availability. It's up there for me. And it's very iconic. I mean, it's the only one. I don't know of any. I'd love for someone to comment down if they know of anything comparable to the Camacho Triple Maduro, and I'll try it. Definitely try it. But yeah, it's not too commonplace you find something like that. You know, it's just really nice to be able to sit back and enjoy a cigar. Have a breath or two. And this cognac is very nice. I believe it's pronounced Fussigny or selecion, I believe. Very tasty. Definitely worth the price. Especially if, you know, and, you know, 2 bottles or, you know, maybe 3 if you have the need to have a little drink, that's good. But, you know, you get your 5th of this and you can definitely have that for a little bit of time. You can have quite a few. I can think of quite a few cigars that this is something that, you know, almost will probably blend with most cigars. I definitely like My Father the Judge, Ashton VSG, maybe like Arturo Fuente Hemingway, Arturo Fuente Añejo. This would pair just fine with along the lines of most of those. It's very good cognac. I guess we gotta grow up sometime and not treat Hennessy as the gold standard. There can be some better things out there. Sorry, there's a little bit of rustling in the bushes that's catching my attention. Not enough to stir me away from such a pleasant situation. And because I'm out here in Seattle, I was watching the Seahawks game with the family, grilling and having a little carne asada, carnitas, all the fixings for that type of deal, and just enjoying myself. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get a few more puffs on this, and this is Gentleman Driver. Hoping everybody has a great week. I'll have a few more cigars for you, and you guys have a good one.